Alrighty, let's get into these videos.
It's because they beat the Q3 revenue estimates, earnings estimates, they beat everything. And using AI to attract new customers, but really, this may be the a renaissance period in terms of just entrepreneurship. So joining us first on CNBC is Harley Finkelstein, Shopify's president. Harley, first of all, congratulations. You did confound people. The last quarter, you told us you were spending out of strength. I believed you. People thought you were spending out of weakness. Completely wrong. How much did it help that you guys have really turned on the jets here?
Yeah, I mean, I think what you're seeing, Jim, is that we continue to deliver some of the strongest results in the industry quarter after quarter. If you look at our sort of key metrics, GMV, which is, of course, the sales by our merchants, a proxy for how merchants are doing, was up 24% to 69 billion. Our revenue was up 26%, but also gross profit grew 24%. Operating income more than doubled from last year, and free cash flow margin expanded to 19%. So what you're seeing is we're able to deliver both on growth and on margins, and we're gaining shares in a very vast and a very thriving market, and it's working.
Now, I do believe that you have come out with a thesis about what's going on right now that I just love. The cost, you have lowered the cost of failure rather dramatically. So people who can take side hustles, make into the real deal. The passionate people are able to take your site and go soup to nuts. It's working.
That's right. And what you're actually seeing is more merchants are coming to Shopify across verticals, industries, geographies, and size. So while we're the place to start a small business, someone that has an idea in the shower decides to get it started, we are the default place to do so. At the same place, we're seeing companies like Reebok, Off-White, Hanes, On Running, Victoria's Secret also come to Shopify. And ultimately, the key to this is making it really easy to get started. And
I love that. Shopify's really, and this is the biggest position I have in the public account. I love that Shopify is that company that can be there for the small business owner, the one that's just getting started rolling, right? Or the one with a few employees. And they can also be there for the large companies, the mid-sized companies, and everything like that, right? I was just looking at Shopify's stock over the past year. It's been a tremendous performer. The problem is if you compare it versus NVIDIA and Palantir and Honest, right? It looks like, oh, it's not that much. That's insane. 84% in a year? That's insane. Like literally, if you could tell me I could invest in a stock and make 84% a year for the next many years, I'll put all my money in it. If it was a guaranteed thing, right? That's insane return. So yeah, it doesn't look that much compared to Honest and those stocks, but I'm like, that's an incredible return.
Scale, you have everything you need to future-proof your business. When you think about the scale we have now with millions of stores on the platform doing $69 billion, we're also able to supplement that with incredible merchant solutions, whether it's payments or it's capital or our financial services. And so we're effectively creating this unified retail operating system, and it's working really well.
Let's talk about the finance.
When it comes to Shopify's stock, something they're going to definitely benefit from as this company gets bigger and bigger and bigger, which Shopify's market cap right now, let me see where Shopify's market cap's at here on 1000X. Let's go ahead and go to search. I'm guessing it's around 150-ish billion, somewhere around there roughly. Yeah, around $150 billion market cap roughly, right, for Shopify. So as Shopify gets bigger and as they reach a $200 billion market cap and a $300 billion market cap, something they're going to start to benefit from on the stock price front is they're going to become a bigger and bigger weight in the Qs and a bigger and bigger weight in the S&P 500. So as those ETFs are forced to buy every single week with people's retirement funds and things like that, right, more and more money is going to come into Shopify stock. Even if it's people that aren't active investors like myself that are saying, oh, I love Shopify stock, it's a great opportunity, I'm going to buy the shares. It's just going to be more and more forced money in as the market cap gets bigger and bigger and it climbs to $200 billion, $300 billion, $400 billion, right? I think long term, Shopify could be $1 trillion market cap, but that's, if we're looking out maybe 10 years from now or so.
Just literally 14 days ago, you announced Shopify Finance, which I thought was brilliant. Are people already taking you up on that one?
It's really cool. I mean, one of the things that we think is important about finances is making it really easy. So it's a new, intuitive, unified home for all our financial solutions. And it's built right into the admin. So whether it's access to balance or credit or capital or bill pay or tax, it's one place you can go to get everything you need. Now, this is similar to what we're doing with AI, for example. We're trying to make sure that merchants on Shopify have an unfair advantage so that if it's things like product photography, AI makes that better. If it's responding to emails from customers, AI makes that better. So rather than looking at AI as one single part of Shopify, it's embedded across all of Shopify. And we take that same approach to all of our tools, which is why people come to our platform and they never leave.
All right, so let's talk about a recent slide that was in a Salesforce document. a deck, so to speak, about why customers trust Commerce Cloud. They're talking about how they have won business from you. Hasbro, Black Rifle, Reserve Bar, Pokemon, Solo Store. How do you respond to a Mark Benioff saying, listen, we think that these guys are terrific, but we are winning share?
Yeah, I mean, we're not seeing that. We're seeing the opposite. We see on a consistent basis some of the largest brands are coming onto Shopify. You know, this quarter alone, 16 enterprise brands launched on Shopify. So yeah, we love our roster of homegrown stories: Gymshark, Viore, Mattel. But we also like the fact that MeUndies and Vera Bradley and these much larger brands are coming to us also. Look, we're not trying to do everything to everyone. We do one thing and we do it better than anyone, which is commerce, retail. And what we're seeing is that what these big brands are looking for is one place to sell, not just online, but also offline across social media on places like YouTube. We announced a partnership with Roblox, where now Shopify is powering commerce there as well. This idea of creating a unified operating system for all of commerce is the reason why these big brands love us.
I think
that was a great response. That was a great response. He got put into a place where he had to be defensive there. Great response.
Your stock can go up so much is people still don't understand what you do. And that's because, as you say, and Toby says in the great video about how we're not trying to be your company. We're trying to be behind your company, which is a level of modesty that I greatly appreciate. For instance, if you wanted to start a product and need to be distributed, you guys have a relationship with Flexport. Making it so that basically we take the taxes out, you ship, you don't have to worry about your warehouse, you handle everything. I don't think people understand the complexity of what you're offering because it seems so simple.
Think about this. If you were to pretend that Shopify was a single retailer, you would aggregate all our stores, let's just say in the US alone, we'd be the second largest online retailer in America. Now, why does that matter? It matters because when we negotiate rates for things like shipping or payments, we are negotiating as if we're the second largest retailer. And instead of keeping those economies of scale for ourselves, we're able to disseminate them and distribute them to everyone that uses Shopify. That is how you bend the curve.
Like
that is how you level the playing field so that everyone can be successful faster. And that's something that is unique to Shopify.
I love that.
Well, I've got to tell you, I like to refer to the fact that your stock...
That does give them a huge moat, 100%.
...getting killed when you're on last. You said, look, it's really a great opportunity. The people who were negative, they were dead wrong, Harley. I hope they were shorted, and now they have to figure out what to do. Because I know what to do. Go buy your stock. Thank you, Harley, Finkelstein, for coming on.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks as always.
Yeah, so is Shopify stock still a buy? The answer to that is absolutely. Shopify stock's always a buy. Like... any major dips you get, corrections, crashes, be thankful. That's all you got to do. Be thankful and buy. When it comes to Shopify, same thing with Amazon. Over the past 20 plus years, every dip in Amazon's been a buying opportunity. Every last dip. And Amazon's still a buy to this day. Right? Amazon's still a buy to this day. Every dip you get, you buy. Shopify, same exact thing. Right? And so when it comes to Shopify, that stock went all the way down to $25 in that 2022 crash, right? Absolutely epic crash from 180, 150 all the way down to $25. And obviously since then, we see what's happened, right? The stock's trading, 110 plus now? 115. What a move from $25 back in 2022. And that's why, guys, always make sure you take advantage of those crashes, those major corrections in the future. Like, just keep in mind, those don't come around often. Make sure you take advantage. You see the NASDAQ go down 35% plus like we saw in 2022, you better freaking be buying like crazy. If you see the NASDAQ even go down more than 10%, you better be buying like crazy. Never mind if you get a 20, 30, 40% drop, 50% drop, you better buy every freaking share in sight. And always remember that to the future, right? Because I know there's a lot of people that had a great opportunity and they could have been buying these stocks back in 2022 when they were crashing like crazy. And they chose not to. And they chose not to. And that is frustrating because there was so much money to be made in these stocks. It was incredible, right? So you're going to get crashes in the future. You'll get major corrections in the future. It will happen. Don't be like the people that left the market and didn't decide to buy and all sorts of things. I called this back in 2022. I remember how many videos I did, and I called it and I said, watch, there's going to be a ton of people who leave the market. They're not going to come back until the next time the market's hot, right? That's exactly what we saw play out. A lot of people left the market in 2022, and now they're finally coming back. And it's like, dude, like you can still make money, and there's still opportunities in this market, but I'm just like, you missed the easiest freaking money. Shopify from 25 to 100 was so easy. Is Shopify probably going to go from 115 to 200 something over the next few years? Yeah, sure. But the 25 to the 100 move was where the biggest money was made. Meta's probably going to go from 600 roughly dollars where it is today, a little under 600, right? And it's probably going to move to $1,000 over the next few years. So there's money to be made there. But do you know how much money there was to be made if you were buying the stock at under $100 back in 2022 in the fourth quarter? And you got the 100 to 600 move? Like I did, like, damn. But it's just like, it's frustrating, man. People choose to not be in the market in those sorts of times. And I'm like, that's exactly when the life-changing money's made. There's still good money to be made in the market, but it's not life-changing money now, right? Unless you get into very special opportunities. Hey, it's Jeremy. I hope you really enjoyed that clip here today. What you looking at in front of you right there? That's the 6-figure Hall of Fame. Do you want to see the next one? That's the 7-figure Hall of Fame. Now, that is my private group. Those are members of my private group that have scaled to 6 figures, multi-6 figures, 7 figures, multi-7 figures in their stock market portfolio. They say you are the average of the 5 people you associate with. If you're somebody that is having trouble finding other long-term investors that are focused on building their wealth over the coming years, finding like-minded folks, look no further than my private group. We got a tremendous amount of people. We're consistently talking with each other, learning from each other, researching companies together, sharing news about our different companies, right? We do all that inside my private group. If you would like to apply to join us in there, go down in the description area. There'll be an application down there. You can click on that and you can apply to join us in there and take your game up to a much higher level and associate with the type of folks that you actually want to associate with. Alrighty. Listen. I have one big piece of housekeeping I got to get out of the way here. There's something substantial that just happened in the market, okay? So I did a video 2 days ago on my reaction channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys follow the reaction channel as well. It's called Jeremy Lefebvre Makes Money. And that's a channel I react to articles or videos or all different stuff like that, right? And so I've made a video 2 days ago, and right off the bat, I spoke about Shopify stock, and I talked about their earnings and kind of what my expectations were in regards to their earnings and those sorts of things, right? And the video was called, This Stock Could Boom This Week. Well, Shopify stock absolutely boomed huge, 25% move. And this is the largest position I have in my Patreon portfolio. The largest position I have. Absolutely incredible earnings out of this company. I gave them an A- on their income statement here. It was phenomenal. $2.16 million of revenue versus 1.7. Gross profit went to $1.1 billion versus $901 million. If you look at net income, excluding equity investments, $344 million versus 173. So that's basically a double up year over year. Whoo, banger earnings from Shopify. So yeah. Now you might say, okay, it's the 6th best performing stock in the Patreon portfolio now at this point in time, and it's now the biggest position. Do I want to go ahead and cash some shares? Because there are stocks I've seen out there and I've definitely cashed some shares on different portfolios, right? The answer to that is absolutely not. No. There's no reason for me to cash any Shopify. Shopify I view very similar to like an Amazon type stock that, you just hold those stocks and you hold on as tight as you can. And that's my view on Shopify. So being that Shopify's a company that should grow revenues 20% plus a year for as long out as I can see, I can't really get rid of those sorts of companies. So Shopify, it's performing tremendous, but I have no interest in selling those shares, okay? Hey, it's Jeremy. I hope you really enjoyed that clip here today. What you looking at in front of you right there? That's the 6-figure Hall of Fame. Do you want to see the next one? That's the 7-figure Hall of Fame. Now, that is my private group. Those are members of my private group that have scaled to 6 figures, multi-6 figures, 7 figures, multi-7 figures in their stock market portfolio. They say you are the average of the 5 people you associate with. If you're somebody that is having trouble finding other long-term investors that are focused on building their wealth over the coming years, finding like-minded folks, look no further than my private group. We got a tremendous amount of people. We're consistently talking with each other, learning from each other, researching companies together, sharing news about our different companies, right? We do all that inside my private group. If you would like to apply to join us in there, go down in the description area. There'll be an application down there. You can click on that and you can apply to join us in there and take your game up to a much higher level and associate with the type of folks that you actually want to associate with. Alrighty, let's get into the stocks I bought here today, because it was $90,000+ of buying here today. First one up here, Cheesecake Factory. I bought over $10,000 worth of Cheesecake Factory stock here today. Now, it's very important for anybody that cares anything about Cheesecake Factory stock. Listen, they're about to pay the dividend, okay? So they basically pay this dividend usually every 3 months. So shares purchased before November 13th, you're going to essentially receive the 27 cents per share on November 26th, okay? So if we look at the public count, and keep in mind I own Cheesecake shares and other portfolios as well, but the public count is my biggest position in cake. 2,200 shares, or 2,222 shares, so we times that out by 27 cents. So basically, I will be getting, on November 26th, I will be receiving $599.94 to my portfolio in Cheesecake dividends. So yeah, if you get a Cheesecake dividend yourself, say thank you to me, because I definitely go to North Italia and Flower Child a lot. And if you support Cheesecake Factory, North Italia, Flower Child, all those concepts, I thank you for the dividend as well, okay? We can all help each other out in regards to this. But to be honest, the dividend money is the small money in regards to Cheesecake Factory. Like, look at how much I've already made on the stock. $26,000 I've already made on the stock, and I think that's just the start of the gains. We have a lot more $26,000 to grab here at a time. So the dividend's sweet. I love that pouring in each 3 months. And, you know, I could see a place where I'm making $5,000 to $10,000 a year from Cheesecake dividends, not in too distant of a future, if you add up all my different portfolios. But, you know, that's little money. The big money's in share price appreciation here. Now, I made this beautiful, beautiful graphic for you guys here today, just to kind of explain Cheesecake a little better so everybody can really understand the true opportunity in regards to the stock and why I get so excited about this stock and why it's such a moneymaker, right? When we talk about Cheesecake Factory, we're talking about the ATM, the original concept, right? That's successful even outside of the United States of America. This is a straight ATM, profit machine, cash flow, right? And then we have U.S. expansion phase for the next 5 to 10 years with North Italia and Flower Child. So there's two concepts that you're going to see expand throughout the entire United States over this next 5 to 10 years, right? Which is absolutely beautiful. You're going to see multiple locations in every big city you could imagine out there, right? International, we'll see. I don't know if those concepts will go international, but the bottom line is over this next 5 to 10 years, there's so many locations in the United States, you can't even really worry about international. And then additionally, we have Blanco, which is a Mexican restaurant concept that's very, very good. And then we have Culinary Dropout, which is very popular as well, in testing phase. We do not know if these two concepts are going to be able to expand across the entire United States. They're expanding them into some more markets to kind of test them right now. North Italian and Flower Child is clear cut, like they're going to expand that all over the entire United States of America. These two concepts are maybes. So if either of these concepts become the next big one, then we're going to have 3 concepts or potentially 4 concepts that are going to be in entire United States of America international expansion phase, which is going to be incredible when it comes to this company. The other beautiful thing is you compare it to other companies that just have one growth concept, right? And the stock trades so cheap. It trades so cheap. Forward P of 14 versus Wingstop 83 versus Chipotle 47, right? And those ones come with a lot bigger risk if there's even, you know, because they're all just dependent upon one brand. And so I get Cheesecake at this incredibly low valuation with multiple growth concepts. I like this a lot, right? If we go to the projections on 1000xstocks.com, we're going to be able to, and by the way, that compare features on 1000xstocks.com as well. But the projections feature something I love. So I ran Cheesecake at a 9% revenue growth rate from 2025 to 2028, right? And this is assuming prices will go up a little bit each year, right? Usually 1% to 3% prices go up. Additionally, we should have better comp restaurant sales over the next few years, even if you minus out the expansion in terms of pricing of 1% to 3% per year. So that should definitely help. And then additionally, we got a lot more locations coming online over the next several years. So I think 9% revenue growth is definitely doable, especially given the fact that Flower Child, as that concept expands more, they do heavy to-go business. Like 50% of that business is to go. So that's a huge expansion opportunity there. So 9% revenue growth 2025 through 2028 on average, 11% net income growth. So if you got a concept like this growing revenue just under 10% and net income just over 10%, you could probably command a 25 to like a 32 P ratio, which puts the stock, you know, we could say in 2026 somewhere between $90 and about $115. Which right now it's in the 40s. We could say 2028 puts the stock somewhere between about $112 and $143, which gives me an insane compounding annual growth rate that is honestly better than you'll get from a lot of the big tech stocks. So that's what I see playing out here for Cake over time. Now, that was one of 6 stocks I spoke about in this video right here. It looks like 88,000 people have gotten a chance to see that video so far that I created 8 days ago. 6 stocks to buy now, November edition. So if you wanted to hear me talk much more in depth about Cheesecake Factory stocks specifically, definitely check out out that 45-minute beast video there, okay?